students, welcome back. Today we'll see what are the various Java keywords. There are 51 keywords. Among them 49 keywords are used and 2 are unused. And also there are some special literals which also should be considered as keywords. We'll see all these 3 categories in detail now. Okay, so let us see what is meant by a keyword. Keywords are also called as reserved words. So these are the special tokens in any programming language which are reserved words that have predefined meaning. So they have a predefined meaning and a code associated with it. If you use that keyword, so that code will be executed. So you cannot use a keyword for naming an identifier, like you cannot name variables after the keywords. The class names cannot be keywords, or method names or field names cannot be keywords. So you should take care that you are not using keywords for identifiers. And how many keywords do Java have? Java have 51 keywords or reserved words. Among them 49 are used. They have functional usage, and 2 are unused. What are the 2 keywords that Java reserved but still it is not using? Those are constant, const, and goto. So to get the effect of constant, there is final keyword in Java. So both are similar. So that's the reason constant is not used. So instead of constant, we should be using final. So constant cannot be used because it's unused, but still it is reserved. And the second one is goto, and goto is removed so that Java can be simplified. So in my lectures on features of Java, I explained that Java is simple because there is no goto statement. To make the language simple, they removed the goto statement. So that's why there is no keyword called goto. But they reserved it, so it is there in the keywords list, but still we are not using it. To get the somewhat kind of similar effect of goto, we can use break and continue statements. So now let us take a look at what are the 49 keywords in Java which are used. Java is case sensitive, meaning that Java is able to distinguish between the lowercase and uppercase versions of a letter in the language's character set. So that means that Java can distinguish between lowercase a and uppercase a. In the language's perspective, lowercase a is different from uppercase a because it takes the numbers from the character set. Java uses Unicode character set, and in Unicode character set, lowercase a is represented with the numerical value 97 and uppercase a is represented with the numerical value 65. So 97 is obviously not equal to 65. So Java thinks that lowercase a is not equal to uppercase a. So because of this reason, whenever you use the keywords, you should be very careful. And because it's case sensitive, you should be using all the letters in the word should be lowercase. So boolean, I have written 2 booleans here, but for a particular Google search, maybe these 2 letters are similar. But in programming languages, these 2 words are not similar because here you are using uppercase B. So uppercase B is different from lowercase b. So whenever you write the keywords, whenever you use the keywords in programming, you should be very careful that all the keywords should be written only in lowercase. So let us get into the keywords now. So the first one is the primitive data type keywords. So in this category, there are 8 keywords. So I have listed 9 over here. So 9th one is void, which is other than primitive data type. So there are only 8 primitive data types. The first one is boolean, the second one is byte, the third one is char, fourth one is short, fifth one is int, sixth is long, and seventh float, and eighth is double. So what does these keywords represent? So if you are using boolean, so it means that you are creating a boolean variable. So if I say boolean flag, it means that I am creating a variable called flag which is of boolean type. Similarly, byte x means that I am creating a byte variable. Char x means that I am creating a character variable. So similarly, short x means that I am creating short variable. So int, again int a means that I am creating a variable a which is of int type. So long y means that I am creating a variable y which is of long type. Float y means that I'm creating a variable which is of float type. Double x means that I'm creating a variable x which is of double type. So these are the 8 primitive data types that Java supports, and this is how you need to write the keywords. Every letter in the keyword should be in lowercase. Now the next one is void. Okay, so void is used with methods to specify that the method is not returning anything. So if the method is not returning anything, then you have to mention specifically as void. So I have given an example of the method definition over here. Void average, and average is the name of the method, and I am saying that this is not returning anything. So I have used void keyword over here. So this is how you use the void keyword. So we'll see the next keyword. The next keyword is public modifier. Public modifier can be used along with classes, methods and fields. So I have given you an example over here. So public class test is the class name, and also along with the method. So we are saying the main method is public over here, and also we are saying public int x is equal to 20. So this is the usage of the public keyword. And by using public keyword, it means that these identifiers can be accessed from anywhere. And public keyword generally defines the scope of the fields or methods or class. Okay, so the next keyword is protected. Protected can be used along with the inner classes, methods and fields. So I gave you an example how to use protected. So protected string name. Okay, so you can use it like that. And the next is what does protected mean? Protect mean that these can be accessed from within the class, from the subclasses and also other classes in the same package. Okay, so protected means that. And next is private. Private keyword can be associated with class variables, methods and inner classes. Okay, so this is inner classes. Inner classes, and this is how you use the private keyword. And by making a variable private, it means that the scope is only within the class. It cannot be accessed outside the class. Okay, so right. And the next one is static. Okay, static can be used with the fields and methods and inner classes. Example is static int x. Static is represented as class level information. Static members belongs to the class, and they are shared by all the instances of the class. Okay, so that is static. And next is abstract. Okay, so by using the abstract keyword, we can create abstract classes. So this is how you can create. I'm saying abstract class EMP, which means that the class is made abstract. Okay. Okay, the next keyword is final. Final can be associated with a class, methods and fields. If a class is declared as final, it can't be extended. A method declared as final can't be overridden, and a field declared as final can't be changed. Okay, and the next keyword is volatile. Volatile is applied to the class fields. To declare their value might change by other threads. Okay, so to indicate that, we'll be using volatile keyword. And next keyword is transient. Transient is also applied to the class fields to declare that they won't be part of serialization. Okay, so when an object is serialized, the transient fields will be left out and non-transient fields will be serialized. Okay, so for that we'll be using transient. And then synchronized keyword. By using synchronized keyword, we can create a synchronized method, and also we can create a synchronized block. Okay, so this means that the block, only one thread can enter into this synchronized block or synchronized method. So this is used in multi-threading. Okay, and the next keyword is native keyword, which is associated with a method, which means that the method that is native method means that the method's implementation is written in another native language like C or C++. So to indicate that the method is a native method, we will be writing native keyword in front of the method. Okay, so next comes the exception handling keywords. The first one is try. Try and catch both have to be put together. So what is try? Try is used to create a block of code for exception handling. and catch is used in conjunction with the try to catch the exceptions and process them. So try and catch are both together. And the next one is throw. Throw keyword is used to throw the exceptions. And throws is used to along with the method to specify that the exceptions, what all are the exceptions that the method may throw. Okay, so throws is used for that. And the next one is finally. By using finally, you can create a finally block, and this finally block will be executed. Even if exception occurs or do not occur, this finally block will execute, and this will be in association with the try and catch. Keywords. So the first one is class keyword. Class keyword is used to create a class. Interface keyword is used to create an interface. So I can simply say interface B, interface A, interface employee, whatever, class A, B, etc. And next is enum. Enum is added in J2SE 5.0, and this keyword is used to create enum, enumerations. And next is extends keyword. Extends keyword is used to create subclass. And as you can see, I wrote a simple code over here, like class B extends A, means that I am creating a subclass B which is extending superclass A. Okay, so the next is implements. Implements keyword is used to implement an interface. So here B is an interface. So the class A is implementing interface B. And the next one is package. So by using package keyword, you can create packages for class, interface and enum. Okay, the next are the control flow keywords. So the first one among them is if. If is used to create if statements. Next is the else keyword. Else keyword is used in conjunction with if to create if else statements. And the next one is do. Do keyword is used to create do while loops, and this do is used in conjunction with while. While is used to create while loops, and for is used to create for loops. And switch is used to create the switch and case statements. And case and switch both are used in conjunction with each other to create switch and case statements. And default is used within switch case to create default cases. And next is break. Break keyword is used in loops to end the execution of the current loop. Okay, so and then it goes to the next statement. It ends the loop execution. And the next one is return. Return is used in the methods to simply return or return a value from a method. And the next is continue keyword. Continue keyword is also used in the loop to skip the current cycle and go to the next iteration. Okay, so continue is used for that. The next keyword is this keyword. This keyword is used to get access to the current object. And the next keyword is new keyword. New keyword is used to create objects. And the next is super keyword. See, super keyword is used in inheritance where the subclass can access the superclass methods, constructors and variables. And the next keyword is import. By using import keyword, you can import a class so that you can use its functions in your program. And the next one is instance of. Instance of is an operator to check if an object is instance of a class or not. Okay, to check that you will be using this keyword. And next is strict FP. So this ensures that whenever you are performing operations in floating point variables, this ensures that this keyword ensures that you get same result on every platform. So strict FP will do that. So FP stands for floating point. And assert keyword is used to create assertions, and this is added in Java 1.4. And the next keyword which is added in Java SE 9 is underscore. Simply an underscore. And earlier in the earlier versions we used to use underscore for creating variable names, but after Java SE 9, when it was introduced as a keyword, you cannot use it. So your program will not compile if you use underscore to create variables name, because it's a keyword, so you cannot use it. Okay, so these are the 49 keywords that are used and have some functionality. Okay, along with the keywords, I would just like to discuss one more concept, which is literals. What is a literal? A literal is a constant value that may be assigned to a primitive data types. And Java supports, or Java have three special literals which are true, false and null. True and false are the Boolean literals and null represents a null value. Okay, so these are the three literals which you can also think of them as the reserved words, and they also cannot be used for identifiers. Okay friends, so these are all the 51 keywords where 49 keywords are in use, and these last two keywords, the constant and go to statement, are not in use. Okay, so you can just have a look at all these. Okay, so hope this video is helpful to you. Stay home, stay safe, happy learning, bye.